Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ecumenical Buddhist Society of Little Rock's 11:30 30-minute meditation. Glad you could join us. I entitled today's talk, goodness, I believe I said rooting yourself in mindfulness, or rooting yourself in meditation, and being rooted, in meditation. I use that phrase because I wanted to share something that one of my teachers at the Kansas Zen Center, shared to all of us who practiced with them this weekend. She was speaking. Her name is Judy Reutman, and she's Zen Master Bonet at the Kansas Zen Center. And she was talking a little bit about the practice of meditation, what we're about to start here ourselves. And she talked about this idea of being rooted or grounded in this practice. And an example that came to mind that helps demonstrate this being rootedness or this groundedness, I was thinking about a dog track, and I've not been to the dog track except maybe once many, many years ago when we had a dog track, Southland. But you've seen videos of these dogs chasing this rabbit. Well, this thing that's supposed to be like a rabbit on a pole. And the dogs will race around the track, and this little thing holds something out in front of their noses that I guess they're thinking is a rabbit. And it literally is just maybe in inches or a foot away from their snout, and it moves as quickly as they do, and they're chasing this thing all the way around the track. And they've just got their eyes focused on that rabbit. And by God, they are just, going around and around, unaware of anything around themselves, trying to catch that rabbit. And that image, I think, helps demonstrate the point of what many of us do with our thoughts. And that, we're not that different. We have these thoughts, these ideas that we're just chasing like crazy, and it doesn't matter, we have no idea what the heck is going on, but we are chasing these thoughts like an animal chasing a rabbit. And if the rabbit zigs left or zigs right or wherever it goes, completely mindlessly and thoughtlessly, we continue to chase these thought rabbits down their holes, and we just go, right? So take that image and then couple that with another image, if I could say so, of flowers floating in the ocean, skimming on the surface, just they're bumping into each other, and they're all over. They're just moving with the waves, coming and going. So the combination of these two images is the point I'm trying to make about our thoughts. That we are like our thoughts are like these flowers, just floating aimlessly, meandering, wandering all over. And yet we're also like, chasing these thoughts like a dog chases this rabbit, as it goes left, right, zigs and zags. So we have this dilemma as humans, we're always chasing these thoughts, and we're aimlessly wandering about. So rootedness, to the point of this little mini talk here, which I'll end here in just a moment, another minute or so. What we don't realize is that a meditation practice like this, that we can do together, or you can do on your own, but together is always better, helps ground us. Because really, we are all rooted. Even though the flowers in the ocean feel like they are on the surface, there's nothing there, but underneath are these deep roots. And we have this ability to develop this root system, to extend it, to make it stronger, so that the flowers are not floating aimlessly all over, but there's a sense of being grounded in something. And having a meditation practice like we are now about to share here on a Tuesday afternoon, or you can do it, with another group, or Maybe you can join us again on Thursday when we do this again at 11:30. But having some sort of a consistent practice of meditation and of mindfulness, to use the more westernized term here, but let's use meditation for right now, gives us the chance to develop roots that bring us back and ground us in this moment, so that we're not like the dog chasing the rabbit, unaware of what we're doing, running in circles, so that our thoughts are not like these flowers floating on the ocean, bouncing around, meandering, moving everywhere all the time, but they're grounded in this moment. So I just want to introduce that idea to you and hope that's somewhat helpful as you think about meditation and why you practice. It creates an environment of being rooted in the moment. So when things get crazy, as they always do, and our thoughts go wild, as they always do, our emotions take us down these paths, as they always do, that even though these things continue to happen, we are developing a practice, a meditation practice, that we can always come back to, and that over time really begins to really create these deep roots in the moment, where we find ourselves less likely to be yanked all over. Okay, so that's my little mini talk. Thanks for bearing with me. It means it's time for us to move to our meditation. So what we're going to do is a little 5-minute guided meditation that I'll do. Feel free to mute your computer if you want to. That's okay. And then we'll just sit here quietly for about 15 minutes or 14 minutes, whatever it is, until just about 12 noon. So if you're not yet sitting where you like to sit for these kinds of meditations, go ahead and get yourself comfortable and sit. It's on a cushion or on a chair, somewhere where you feel grounded, with your tailbone firmly implanted on a cushion or a chair seat, where you can get some support under your tailbone, and your back is straight, and your shoulders are down and also back a little bit, and your chin is neutral. Your eyes are gazing ahead of you, down, not closed. I would keep your eyes open a little bit, just so you remain awake, aware of where you are. Maybe finding something ahead of you and down, a spot on the carpet or on the wall that you can gaze at, that becomes a bit of a focal point. And just breathe. Taking deep, even breaths. Don't have to exaggerate it, but just take a good full breath in, and then a slow, full out breath, really expelling all the air. And again, a deep in breath, letting that breath reach down all the way down to your belly. And then a slow, full out breath. And then an in breath. So on your own, just finding a natural rhythm to your breath that isn't shallow, but it's not exaggerated either. Just focus on taking deep breaths and slow out breaths. Really making sure you've pushed out all the air in your lungs. So our meditation practice is just rooted in this breathing. And then while we're breathing, as we sit with our hands in our laps or on our knees, again our shoulders back, spine straight, head in a neutral position, in our minds, which may be trying to yank us about, probably is, trying to think about what comes next and how long this will last and how am I feeling right now and do I really have time to be doing this? Should I be doing something else, right? These are thoughts probably bombarding you. Just understand that's okay. No need to be upset by anything. No need to think you're doing anything wrong. Your mind will do that. That's what a mind does. That's what thinking will do. So just roll with it. Just let those thoughts do what they do. You remain disciplined and just sit. Not taking the bait and not going down the rabbit hole of thinking just because some idea has popped into your head. And if it does distract you for a second, again, no big deal. Come back to your breath. And so we'll continue together in silence now, focusing on our breath, letting our mind do what it does without judgment and without control, just being here with it. And we'll check back in about 15 minutes with each other. right. I want to just say real quick before we head off, for one, I found myself at times being like that flower that's floating on the ocean and was bouncing around all over the place today. It's so interesting sometimes when you have a meditation practice that because your mind quiets, and you will then find that things you've been trying to remember will all of a sudden come to you, or just things that are important that because your mind is normally so busy you don't think about, but then when you sit quietly for 15 or 20 minutes, all of a sudden you'll have these ideas. Sometimes I have wonderful ideas while I'm meditating. Just FYI, every now and then I'll keep a notepad here next to my mat. Not that I will interrupt my meditation to write something down, but as soon as I'm done, because I know this is just the way our minds work. And sometimes when we're quiet and we're having this practice, something will come to us, and it may be a stroke of a genius, of an idea, of something you think to myself, oh my gosh, that's right. You don't want to forget it. So finish the practice. Don't interrupt your practice, but keep a notepad next to you. And then when you are done, quickly jot it down because you forget. That's okay. That doesn't mean you've done anything wrong or your meditation was bad or anything. It's just the way our mind works. Isn't it interesting and curious the way our mind will remember things and come up with ideas? And sometimes, yes, in the middle of a meditation. That's just the way it works. No need to judge that or label it as good or bad. Just is. You stay well. Be sure you like this video. If you're still watching, that is. Comment, say hello. Anything and everything would be appreciated. And I'll see you in a couple weeks. Take care.